Today we are going to start a new topic that is from the inorganic chemistry. That is the molecular orbital theory. You know the when the different elements combine that form the molecules, the compound is formed. So there are different theories to explain the bonding in the different molecules. So the first and foremost important theory is the BBT, that is called the valency bond theory. That explain that is the hybridization that you know that explain the many things that is the outcome of the VBT. So apart from the VBT, there is another theory that is called the molecular orbital theory that also explain the bonding in the molecule. But molecular orbital theory is specifically used for the diatomic molecules only, not for the bigger molecules or anything like that. Diatomic means it is two types of diatomic molecules are there. It may be homoatomic or it may be heteroatomic. Homoatomic means the H2, N2, O2, Cl2, F2. These are the homoatomic molecules. Heteroatomic like the carbon monoxide, like the nitric oxide, like the cyanide. These type of molecule theories or ions. The bonding in these cases are explained by the molecular orbital theory. That is why it doesn't have the lot of applications. They are the very limited application. That's why in many other countries it has been discarded from the syllabus. But in our country it is continuing. So then, apart from the molecular orbital theory in the complex compound or in the coordination compound, there is other theories like the CFT, that is the crystal field theory. Another one is the elliptic, that is the ligand field theory is there. VBT is also applicable for the coordination complex compound also. But the mostly the coordination compound, the bonding is explained by the crystal field theory. So today's my topic is the molecular orbital theory. Today's my topic is the molecular orbital theory. Molecular orbital theory. In molecular orbital theory, that is shortly it is called MOT. So I will not going to detail in the theory parts. Basically, the how you will solve the problem, etc. That part I will cover basically. So the concept of the molecular orbital theory is so when the two atomic orbitals combine, that will produce the two molecular orbitals. Let me explain here. When the two atomic orbitals, this is atomic orbital, orbitals combine, that will forming the two molecular orbital. So out of the two molecular orbitals, this is the energy diagram you see. This is the atomic orbital, two atomic orbital combined, it produces the two molecular orbital. So out of the two molecular orbital, you can see. So in the energy diagram, this one of the molecular orbital is more less energy, more stable. That is less energy and more stable. And one other molecular orbital is having higher energy and less stable. So this is called the anti-bonding molecular orbital, and this is called as the bonding molecular orbital. So the molecular orbital, what we know that is one is the bonding, another one is anti-bonding. So out of the two molecular orbital, one is the bonding molecular orbital and the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So bonding molecular orbital it possesses the less energy, but antibonding possesses the more energy. It is more stable because the energy is inversely proportional to the stability. It is less stable. It is more stable and it is less stable. So this bonding molecular orbital is formed by the additive intermixing. Additive intermixing of atomic orbital. But this is formed by subtractive intermixing. One is the additive intermixing and the subtractive intermixing. You try to understand the psi bonding, psi is the wave function, that is the molecular wave function. That is equal to psi A plus psi B. But psi antibonding, or you can write the psi star antibonding, that is equal to psi A minus psi B. subtractive and additive intermixing. So this is also called as the constructive. This is also called as a constructive intermixing, and it is also called as a destructive intermixing. Constructive intermixing and it is destructive intermixing. So according to the Schrödinger's wave equation, so the atomic orbitals, the electrons moves around the nucleus in a dual natures. That is the dual concept, the Broglie concept, you know. So the according to dual concept, the electron possesses both particle as well as wave function, wave nature. So that means the electron in an orbital, it is having the wave around the nucleus. So electron, what the Bose atomic model told that electron moves in a circular path around the nucleus, but not in the circular path, but it is in the wave manner. So when the wave is there, this is another wave. This is the sine. So when the intermix, so when the intermix, this is the crest and this is the drop. Crest is equal so that is the constructive intermixing means or additive intermixing means that is the 5 plus 5 that is additive. But 5 plus minus 5 so that means this is constructive and this is destructive because this is also addition but that becomes subtraction. That becomes subtraction because I am adding 5 with a minus 5. So that means here the 5 big problem. So this is the side of the crest and the base of the crest in the form of that is called the big crest. And the top mixed with the top that is called the big top. But in other case, you see, in the case of the antibody, you see this is the crest, this is the drop, this is the movement like this is the psi A, and this is the psi B, this is the psi B. So when they will intermix, when they will intermix, so sorry, let me change it to. You see, this is one way, that is the psi A. This is another way. This is the psi B. So when they will intermix, in previous case what happened? Here when the crest, now the crest is at the top and the draw is at the crest. So that means there will be no nothing, no wood will be there. So that is a it is completely destruction. So that is a destructive intermixing will be there. That means it is here the constructive intermixing is there, but here the destructive intermixing. So because of here orbitals, there is a electron, that is the when they will intermix. So when one atomic orbital intermix with another atomic orbital, the atomic orbital when they will mix together, so their atomic orbital overlap. One atomic orbital, the crest, when it is come across the atomic orbital of the other atom crest, the crest become added, two crests added together, their big crest. That is the construction. So, but when the crest is come in contact with the straw, that will diminish. So you can imagine the in the ocean. So when the flood is there, when the these waves are coming. So when the crest is coming with another crest, then big crest will form. The water is going off. So in some cases, when the one tide is mixed with another tide, that becomes diminished. Why? Because the crest will come to the in contact with the trough, that will be diminished. The water becomes unstable. So that is that way. So the in the molecular orbital theory, when the two atomic orbital intermix that form the two molecular orbital, the one having the more energy that is called the bond that is antibonding, one is having less energy that is called the bonding. One possesses the more energy and other possesses less energy. But you try to understand. So what happens? So for our understanding, we can remember the bonding means it is formed, anti-bonding means it is destroyed. Formation and a destruction. So that means when the molecular orbitals, so in the molecular orbital theory, so when the two atomic orbital combine, it will be the one bonding is formed, anti-bonding is destroyed. Constructed and destroyed. Constructed, destroyed. Nothing is left. You try to understand when two atomic orbital combine, one is constructed, that is bonding, one is destructed, that is anti-bonding. That means nothing will be there. But if it is happen like this, two atomic orbital combine, it is constructed but not destroyed. That means the bond will be there. Again, I am repeating. When two atomic orbital combine, it is only constructed. There is no electron is present in destruction level. So that means it is the bond, one bond will be there. But if the bonding molecular orbital is having one electron, then half bond will be formed. So that way I can understand. So what we understand that is the bonding molecular orbital and antibonding molecular orbital that we have clearly understand. So that is one. Or antibody means construction. It will go like that. So now you see the molecular orbitals. What we understand, one is the bonding, another is the antibody. So you know, according to the extent of overlapping, according to the extent of overlapping, to extent of overlapping, there is the bonds are formed. So the sigma mode is formed when the due to head-on overlapping of SS atomic orbital, sigma mode, the bonding that is only one is sigma, another is the pi. The sigma mode is formed sidewise overlapping. Sigma mode is formed by the head-on overlapping of SS, SP, but it is the sidewise overlapping of the PP atomic orbitals. No, the pi bond is never formed without formation of sigma bond. A hybrid orbital always form the sigma bond and it never form the pi bonds. What exceptions are also there? Because the chemistry is full of exceptions. That's why it is difficult. So the chemistry is the chemistry of exception. More exception, then you more intelligent in chemistry. So that you have to, if you do not know the exception, then you do not know the chemistry. That is the that type of question you will not able to solve. So what we understand, basically what we understand that in two types, that is the bonding is also two types. One is the sigma and the pi. Antibonding is two types. One is the sigma, another is the so the antibonding sigma is represented by sigma star and antibonding pi is represented by the pi. So that is known the PP atomic orbital. So you see, so this is the so this is the S orbit, S atomic orbital. This is another S atomic orbital. They will mix together. That will form. This is suppose this is the it has the, both the plus and minus sign. Suppose the plus plus that form B plus. So this is called the it may be happen that it is plus may in the contact with the minus. So that will be that will remain like this. There will be no overlapping at all. So that is the antibody. That is the antibody and that is the B. This plus and plus that will come. So this is called the SS bonding. This is the SS sigma, sigma SS bond, and this is the SS sigma star antibody. The node antinode, that concept is also there. Antinode, the node, nodal pin will be there here. So similarly, suppose you see the the PP overlapping. PP overlapping, this is the one of the P atomic orbital. This is another P atomic orbital. So this is the plus and this is the minus. This is the plus and this is the minus. plus and this is the minus. So when the pp atomic orbitals overlap, so this is another situation you see. This is the plus minus, and this is the another p atomic orbitals. This is the minus and plus. So in these two plus, the sigma bond, and this is the pi bond formation. This is the pi bonding actually. So this is sideways overlapping will be there. So that will form. So that will weak plus will be there and weak minus will be there. So this is the bonding. So this is the pi bonding will be there. So that will be plus and big minus. Minus will be plus will intermix with the plus that is called the big plus. But when the plus and the minus plus so that is not possible because the plus cannot intermix with the minus. That will remain like this. That will be no bonding will be formed. It is construction and it will be destruction. Plus minus and minus plus will be there. So this is called the pi star antibody. This is the pi star antibody will be there. So you know it is the two nodal plane will be there. That is the two number of nodal plane will be there. That is plane will be there. In case of the this is the way. So this is always the plus and the plus that will be big plus, the crest and the crest that from the big crest, draw and a draw that from the big draw. Crest and draw will be neutralized. Draw and a crest will be neutralized. So that will be no one, that is no overlapping happening here. So you can understand that two nodal friend here, one and one. Here is only one nodal friend. The neural field is that is the imaginary plane passing through the nucleus where the probability of finding electron will be. So the another situation you see the PP sigma. PP sigma. This is the one p atomic orbitals. This is another p atomic orbitals that you know that is the hidden overlapping. So this is the another p atomic orbitals that is the plus minus. It is another p atomic orbitals that is the minus. So you can imagine so what when the plus and plus interview that will form the B plus, that will form the B plus, and this side is minus and minus. So that means so that will be a big plus will be there. So because the plus and plus intermix that one big that is the bonding. That is the one P P sigma. So this is the but when this is overlap, when this overlap, so this is not possible at all. So this is the it will be like this, it will remain like this. There will be no overlapping is possible. This is the plus, this is minus, this is plus, this is minus, and this is plus. So this is the sigma star PP antibody. So because whenever the plus minus come across, there is no overlapping at all. When plus plus come across, that will be overlapping will be there. When the minus minus come across with each other, that will be overlapping will be there. So this from this point of view, we can understand how the orbital and you know the molecular orbitals, the maximum capacity of the electronic arrangement, if you see electronic configuration, electronic configuration. So in the electronic configuration, if you see the molecular orbital maximum capacity is 2. All orbitals in the capacity is 2. So maximum 2 electrons can occupy in molecular orbitals arranged on basis of Abba's principle. Abba's principle means the lower energy will fill out fast. This is the lower energy will be filled fast than the molecular orbital having the higher energy. So the another in the degenerate for the degenerate molecular orbital that is the Hund's rule will be applicable. For the degenerate molecular orbital, the Hund's rule the degenerate according to the degenerate orbital, the Hund's rule will be applicable. So that is the degenerate orbital means the pairing of electron will not take place unless each orbital get one electron. That is the condition. That way that arrangement is there. And similarly, molecular metal you can draw. So, so other things that you have to remember, that is the bond order. Explained here. So that bond order means that is the number of bonding electron minus antibody electron. Bond order means bonding electron minus antibonding electron by 2. That is the bond order. Number of bonding electron minus antibonding electron by 2. P means the number of bonding electron. And Na means the number of antibonding electron. Na means the number of bonding electron, and Na means the number. So this bond order plays a very important role. If the bond order is 1, that means single bond order is 1.5, that is 1, and if this partial bonding will be there, bond order is 2, that is double bond will be there, bond order 2.5, that will be this type of bonding will be there, bond order 3 means it will be triple bond will be there, bond order 3.5 means that is also possible. Bond order 0 means that will be no bond. 0.5 means that will be partial bonding. So the bond order means the number of bonds between the two atoms. That is the bond order. Number of bonds between the two atoms. But the bond order that you can calculate very easily. So let's the atomic number. If the atomic number is 14, atomic number is 14, 1 4. So the atomic number is 14. So the bond order you can write easily. It will be there. So when suppose the nitrogen plus nitrogen that is equal to nitrogen atomic number is 7 plus 7 that is equal to 14. So this way it is calculated. So if the bond order is if the atomic number summation of atomic number is equal to 14, then bond order is 3. So if it is 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 13 in the downward also. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So you can decrease zero point 0.5. So the nitrogen it has a triple bond, nitrogen, nitrogen triple bond will be there. So it will go forward. So if it will be atomic number is 15, then it will be 2.5, if it is 16, 2.0, 17, 1.5, then 18, 1, then 0.5, and 0. That is for the near. So near is having your no bond. And 2.0 that will be 16 O2. In O2 that is oxygen oxygen down. So that is the F single bond. So that is the atomic number. So it is also 2.5, 1.5, sorry, 2.0, 1.5, that is 1.0, that is zero point 0.5, and is 0. 0 means that is the beryllium 2. So beryllium, there is no bond will be there in beryllium. So there is no bond between the beryllium atom. Beryllium atom the atomic is not exist. So this 12 means that is the carbon C2. Actually, C2 that is the two both of the bonds are the pi bond that I explained in C2. So that is the exceptional case where the that exists in the gaseous state. Gaseous state C2 is also exist where the carbon carbon both the bonds are pi bonds. That I will explain in the next video. So, so that is the carbon they both are pi bonds, no sigma bond. So we know the pi bond sigma the pi bond never form without formal. But this is exceptional case. Both the pi bonds are there in C2. That is only exists in the gaseous state. Carbon is not exist. So that is the 10 means is the B2. That is the boron. That is boron single bond will be there. So that you can see that is very easy. So if you know the atomic number, sum of atomic number of homoatom, it may be heteroatoms, then the bond order you can calculate by this. 14 is 3, you will go decreasing 0.5, 0.5 up to 20, and you go decreasing 0.5, 0.5 up to 8. he can calculate the bond order. So another thing you just see, the bond order is if the bond order is high, then bond length is less. So the bond length and the bond order are inversely proportional. Bond length and bond why it is happen like this? So if the bond order is high, then more number of bonds between the two atoms. Say then what will happen? So the two atoms will come closer to each other, the bond length will be less. So let's explain the carbon-carbon single bond, carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon triple bond. So here you can see the bond order is 1, 2, 3 and bond length is, so this is 1.54 angstrom, this is 1.34 angstrom and this is 1.20 angstrom. So that is the bond length. You can see the bond length is also bond length and bond order increases, bond length decreases. So similarly, the bond order is directly proportional to the bond energy. So that means it will be required because the bond order is more means it will be the bond is more stable. So it directly proportional to stability. The bond order is directly stability. The more stable means it require more energy to dissociate it. So stability is also related to the bond order. More is the stability that we can see. We can calculate from this. So this is the bond order, this is the bond energy, and bond order is also these are the factors. These are relationship with the bond length, that is bond energy, that is with the stability, that is related to the bond order. So another property that is the magnetic properties. So you know the magnetic properties that is depends upon the electron, the magnetic momentum, the mu is equal to n into n plus 2 root over bm. N into n so Bm is the Bohr magneton. Bm that is the Bohr magneton. Bn is the Bohr magneton. So 1 Bm that is equal to Eh by 4 pi mc. That you can come detailed in the physics. So that is U is equal to n into n plus 2 root over Bm. Where n is the number of unpaired electrons. Number of unpaired electrons. Because the electron will be the electron is present, the electron because of the spin of the electron, so it generates the magnetic field. So that magnetic field that create the magnetic momentum. So this number of unpaired electrons that will be the magnetic properties that is mu is equal to n into n plus 2 root over. So this way the number of electrons can be unpaired electron that magnetic momentum can be calculated. So that is two types of substances is there. One is the diamagnetic. So if the unpaired electron is there, if unpaired electron present, then it will be paramagnetic. If unpaired electron is absent, if unpaired electron is absent, then it will be dimagnetic. Dimagnetic means it is repelled by the magnetic, and paramagnetic means attracted by the magnetic field. So one is the paramagnetic. Paramagnetism will go on increasing with increase of the unpaired electron. If the number of unpaired electrons increases, then paramagnetism also increases. So this is the related to the magnetic properties of the substance that is also obtained from the theory diagram. So these are the theory parts. What I have explained that is all the theories of the molecular orbital theory. In the next video, so I'll explain you the examples how to explain the N2O2CO. You just don't forget to visit to that video. So this is the basically the theoretical part I have explained in this video. So this is the Barik Stars chemistry classes. We are going to start our online classes. Those are interested, you can join and you can process to our also. Thank you.